How about a round of applause for how well I've done putting myself out of business? Is that crazy or what? What I mean is, sharing all this information here in the Prada Hospital, we're putting ourselves out of business because at the end of the day, when I realised that it's such a big problem getting things done right and keeping the vehicle reliable, and I certainly can't do them all, and all our 4x4 Diesel workshop, recommended workshop partners, if you like, even if we all work together, we can't get them all done. So we need you, and that's what it's all about, helping you with all the right brands, the contacts, the parts, the advice, the service, how long things last. Obviously we've done quite a few injectors and we've got a little bit of experience with that. There's plenty more of those, but that's all that fitted in that container before it started overflowing. There's probably a few thousand injector seats there. So probably we know something a little bit about it, and that's why I'm here to share that advice, and we've been there, done that. So again, a reminder, check out those playlists if you're behind on why these little seats here are black underneath, why there's some copper ones, why there's some that look like they're alloy but they're not alloy. Our playlists on your subscriptions, which is 4x4 Diesel, click on that and go into 4x4 Diesel page, click on playlists, and you will find our playlists on injector information, e-jars, stuff like that. This little plate, what that's all about. And what I want to say is we don't keep these in stock. So look, if you ever want to come and see us and discuss anything or get any work done, you probably want to have one of these on your keyring. It's just your emblem of support for K-On. It's a bit like, Remembrance Day, and you get the little flowers and things like that, and you put it on. It's a bit like that, it's a respect thing. So if you're ever going to come to a Prada hospital or a 4x4 Diesel recommended workshop partner, whether you're going to Greg in Perth, whether you're going to Martin in Sydney, whether you're going to one of the guys around Melbourne, whatever the case may be, and there's not that many of them, okay, because there's not many people I'm going to put my name and risk the reputation. So these are people that I sort of highly trust, from as good as I know them, that they're going to do the right thing, and I would let them work on my vehicle and trust them. So in case you missed it, the oil filters, you can get those online at this website, lsiauto.com.au. That's your discount code, I guess, for the year. I'm going to try and get that discount increased, the percentage increased. I'm going to try and do that for you today. That's a promise that I'm going to try and do that for you today. Check out their website. They've got a lot of other stuff. Something else I want to mention, the disc brake rotors, unless I was dreaming, they're very cheap. They seem to be really good value for money. Brakes are brakes, they wear out. Stop worrying about your brakes. Just replace the pads and rotors because they're cheap. It's a lot cheaper than clutches, gearboxes and transmissions. So use your brakes and use those to look after that transmission, okay? So I just wanted to mention that. Workshop partners, yeah, we've only really got that one main recommended one in Perth. Why would you go second best when you can go to the best? So got a couple other people we could say, you could try this guy, try that guy. We think they're on the right page and whatever, but when you've been recommending someone for years and getting all that really positive feedback, that's what we stick to. So Greg Adams Automotive Services, if you're in Perth, he's in Balcatta. Martin, he's in Sydney. You got to Google Select Mobile Mechanics. You'll find Martin over there. He's awesome. Absolutely. I shouldn't have even said this in this video. It's crazy. Let's just hope that not too many people keep watching this video to 3 or 4 minute mark. We've got some other information in here. Okay, why is parts supply important? Well, it's important because in our experience, the only injectors I recommend is brand new, genuine injectors. And you've got to be careful where you think you're buying those. So the problem you've got is you've got other brands. So don't worry about those. We'll stay positive, stick to genuine only. You've got a remanufacturing program, which the injectors are only partially remanufactured. We're not going to go into the details in this video, but we recommend only the brand new ones. So this is why it's really important. That's why people come to us. That way they get the job done right the first time. There's no point doing a job and putting in someone else's old parts that are worse than what you're taking out of your engine. You've really got to understand these injector seats, what goes on there. So it's all in those playlists, really important stuff. Check that out. Subscribe, turn the bell on so you don't miss the new videos. We will go over again briefly and in extreme detail in videos that are coming soon. So we've told you about the discounts. These are the oil filters, genuine oil filters. People are asking questions. Have I cut them open? Have I this, have I that? I don't need to cut them open because I've got that many crazy people following this channel that they buy the filters and they cut them open. Heaps of people have cut them open saying, they're the same. I'm sort of fairly experienced with this stuff, and I believe that looking at the box and the filter itself, I can tell whether it's genuine or not. I know there's copies out there, and that's what we warn people of. And Toyota dealers are also warning people of those counterfeit filters, and they say they destroy engines. I don't know about that, but that's what Toyota say. So fair enough, they can say that if they like. The reason we've got the oil in the picture here now is because there's still people that ask what oil. I don't really care what oil you use. Check the book, check your climate, depends, you know, what climate you're in. Depends how many kilometers your engine's done. We've talked about it in other videos. You're gonna need to watch those. We're not gonna waste our time. Now, if you're coming into the Prado Hospital, not only you probably might want to bring these if you want to qualify for a discussion about things, and check out that EJ information playlist. There's lots of videos there. I'll say it again, we don't stock these. Kaon.com.au, awesome company, Australian made stuff, made in Australia, awesome customer service. Check out their whole website. That's why, you know, we've got a sticker here because we like them. Dobinson's, we like them. Century, we like them. Some Australian made batteries still. K&N, don't worry about that too much, whatever. Watch the videos. And it goes on over this side here. But at the end of the day, this is the bench where we often use to put some things that we want to talk about in the picture, and that is the oil. If you're coming into the Prado Hospital to get service done, the #1 Prado Hospital, please bring your own oil, okay? We're no longer going to be supplying oil for any of the vehicles, so it's really important that you do see these videos and know that. So it's bring your own oil. That way you can get a discount. Yep, you can buy it on special. There'll be no complaints about the oil price because I won't be charging you for it. And I'm happy to discard the old oil for you, but you do need to leave the container with us because we pour it back into the container. So if you bring a 10-litre container, it might cost you 3 litres of oil. We'll pour it into another container and then use it. Thank you very much. But that plate's really important. Doesn't matter which state you're in, Perth, Sydney, wherever you're going, because as far as I know, these people, they don't keep these in stock either, right? And that's your ticket to discuss things. Yeah, if you think it sounds a bit funny, you need to go check out some playlists and check out those videos so you know what I'm talking about. In case you missed it, if you're in Australia, we can only supply parts kits, and we've got some other ones there. I'm not here to push the sales thing or the parts. It doesn't bother me whether you go through me or not. It's just highly recommended because I can't help you if you get your injectors somewhere else and you end up with a remanufactured product or a counterfeit copy. I can't help you with that because I don't know what you've got. Now, if you get the parts through me, get in the VIP group, follow the procedures, take your time, study, get yourself qualified by the videos in the VIP group. With the VIP group supporting you, you won't have any problems. And if you do, we can help you because we've done it 1,000 times, if you know what I mean. There's a number of members in there that have done it hundreds of times, and there's people that have, a lot of DIYs that have done their own, and perhaps 2 or 3 vehicles. There's the workshop partners are in there, although they're busy, so they're not spending their time sitting in there to solve all your problems, but they could be around if you do have problems. So if you do want to purchase parts, you want to be on our workshop information page, the Prado Hospital, available to people in Australia. Okay, so just to let you know that one. Obviously, we've got 2 YouTube channels that are quite informative with all the information you need. And of course, groups to suit, you know, whatever the engine, whatever. And of course, we've got that 4x4 diesel group. That's for anyone. Obviously, there's a lot of people, you know, petrol, diesel, other makes and models. So get into 4x4 diesel on Facebook. If you've got any questions, that's the place to ask the questions. Got someone on the other end of the text message line now texting me about, you know, he's getting injectors and pipes and stuff like that, but it turns out to be for a rebuild. By the time you buy your injectors, your pipes, pay for your rebuild, that it's probably going to end up leaking oil, blowing smoke, and not being as good as a new motor. It's just not worth it, to be quite honest. The long motor, we don't sell them. I can sell you one. I suppose if you're around Victoria, I can sell you one, save you a bit of money, probably get it delivered anywhere in Victoria, that sort of thing. We are working on a Prado Hilux engine replacement hospital where we're going to have some engines in stock ready for action. Another reason why you might want to be in the VIP group, because if it happens to you, you've also got that crack piston fund that can possibly get you the engine in there for free or at a reduced cost, depending on the circumstances at the time. So look, that's the way to go. The prices have gone up like everything else recently, and they are, look, they retail for over 10 grand, a lot of them, but we try and keep it to around the 10, and then you've got your labor and there's a lot of extras. So your best budget for a new long motor these days is about the 15 grand mark. So something to keep in mind, but I recommend only the brand new long motor from Toyota while you can get one. After that, who knows, mate? Things are going downhill quick in every aspect. I think you know what I mean. If you're still watching the video this long, you're on channel. If you're not on channel, you better subscribe and turn the bell on and be on channel and keep on channel. things to think about. But at the end of the day, that's what I would put in my own vehicles, brand new long motor, highly recommended. It's good value for money. By the time you pay for your rebuild, and there's a big question mark on whether it's been done right, and there's that place around, it doesn't matter where they are and which one it is. There's these engine rebuilders that seem to have a reputation. These people do videos and they stand there rubbing their hands together with a phone number on the back wall, and they've got videos and it gives all the wrong torque specifications, which we've demonstrated in other videos, trying to correct that information. And people, it's just the internet, there's so much information out there. You've got to choose who you listen to. And of course, I recommend you listen to me very carefully to the end, so you don't make mistakes, so you don't have questions, so you don't end up broken down on the side of the road, so you don't end up wasting money and wasting things that it could have all been prevented by the correct maintenance and understanding all the vehicle, engine and systems. Okay, so no rebuilds unless there's no way we can get a brand new one anymore. Then I suppose if that's the case, we probably can't get injectors, we can't get engines, and then you know what, we'll probably be doing rebuilds. We may have to use some aftermarket parts. We will move, we will change with whatever needs to be done, whatever the call is at the moment. There's heaps of people doing preventive maintenance. In the VIP group, we rarely, if at all, see any cracked pistons. You've got a massive number of people, over 1,000 members, bugger all if any cracked pistons, and it's usually going to be the ones that put the injectors late, they've got fuel contamination, or they insisted on a remap or a chip or something like that, which is all noted and not covered by the cracked piston fund. If you've got a remap, here you go, we're going to change up cracked piston fund rules for the people that hung around this long. If you've got a remap or a chip or a tune and you want to be upfront about it, you can put in $1,000 and we get 10 or 15 people doing that, then there's enough there for an engine for those people included. So something to think about. Worst case scenario, 1,000's better than 10 or 15, isn't it? So chuck it in there. We'll have plenty of money in that account ready to buy some engines. That is totally separate. It's not part of the business. It's just raising some money to put towards engines. It's the people's money, and that's what it'll be used for. There's no fees or charges. Actually earning a little bit of interest at the moment. I should put that in another account, but then I would have to pay tax on that. Gets a bit messy, but I suppose even if you lost half of it, I had to take that back, then you'd still be, and who cares anyway, right? So whatever. Okay, anyway, the point of the video is, here I am, I'm working for you, I'm doing it for you. I'll move toward whatever aspects of problems we need to solve. We've got all the Facebook groups, the YouTube channels. We just use them as a resource. Those people that say, oh, Facebook, I hate Facebook. Don't think of Facebook, you just got it all wrong. Facebook's not Facebook, it's just a platform we're using. This is what we're using it for. Get on our groups. Don't go anywhere else. Don't add your real friends. Don't use your real name. Just be Jack Hilux with the side of your Hilux, or Dave Prado, whatever, and get on those groups, because that's where the info is. That's where the support is. That's where you want to be. Trying to make it easier for you guys. So look, putting ourselves out of business. Yep. Okay, so we want to quieten it down in the Prado Hospital. But lastly, I want to say, if you hang around to the end, if you would like to get into the Prado Hospital, get some work, one of the Prado hospitals for a little bit, a day or 2 or 3 a week, it varies each week, is Hillside. There's going to be another one near Bendigo. There's one in Sunshine. There's one in Sydney. There's one in Perth. And that's really, there's Cheltenham as well in Victoria. They're our main workshop, full before diesel workshop partners, the ones we recommend and trust. There's a few other guys around that it's kind of like, look, we've got some good feedback from people. We believe they're doing the job right, but we haven't actually met them or spent enough time with them to know 100%. But the feedback we're getting and what we've been told, and it seems to be they're the right people for the job, but they may be a little bit unreliable. E.g., maybe somebody's running the workshop, not on the tools, but they're supervising, make sure it's done right, that sort of thing, which isn't as good as the person actually doing it. And then you might have the person doing it, but they're a bit unreliable. They regularly get sick or break something, so therefore jobs get cancelled, and that's inconvenient, even though they do a good job. So this is what I'm talking about. There's a whole aspect to being a 4x4 diesel workshop partner, and it needs to tick all the boxes. All right, so if you want to get into the Prado Hospital, firstly, let's just cover parts. You've got the injector kits, the BFE kits, the front wheel bearings are the main things. Monday mornings from 7:30 a.m. text message, right? The phone number's there, it's text messages only. So stop ringing. There's a lot of people trying to ring. It's just ridiculous, right? It's not a text me with your problems. That's what the Facebook groups are for. It's only to purchase parts. If you're not sure about things, you need to search the channels. That information I'll show you need to do a lot of searching. If you can't find it, you can get on there and post, ask. Someone will reply. Maybe I'll reply, somebody else. That's the way we need to help everybody together as a group, not one-on-one, because there's only one of me. Okay, so I'm at your service, but I just can't do tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people's questions and problems. You really need to use the resource. I can't reiterate enough times. You need to understand that, all right? So bring your own oil. That's the stuff that I recommend you bring for a 1KD that's done up to 300,000 Ks at the bottom half of Australia. If you're up the top, you might want to go the 1550. Do your own oil changes if you can. Even if you're bringing in for a service, you can do your own oil and filter changes, because I've just showed you where we get the filters cheap. Here's the oil, get it on special, because I'm not into bulk oil. I don't want to do bulk oil. There's different vehicles, there's deep. We don't want to mix up. Bulk oil can get mixed, you can have problems. I'd just rather purchase it in a retail container at a box size, 10, 20 litres, whatever. We're not really getting any good deals on oil. The special you get is the special we get, so you can save some money by buying a few of those when they're on special. Buy some oil filters. If you really want, when you come for a service, you can bring the oil, the filter, and include that, and we won't charge you for that, of course. And or you can just do it yourself and bring the vehicle for the rest of the service or the inspection. So the sorts of things we can fit in at the private hospital are things like injector jobs, because it is really important that that gets done right. So you can either do it yourself, once again, you can watch the videos, or the workshop partners. The BFE jobs we can do. Sometimes we can change some wheel bearings, that sort of thing, but they're pretty straightforward. You might be able to do that yourself. Warning on the Hiluxes, do not forget to change over those two spaces. Don't forget them. It's happened twice now. There'll be another video on that soon. This one's getting a bit long, so we'll wrap it up. Thanks for listening. Hope you get me. Hit the like button, subscribe, turn the bell on, catch you on the next one. See ya.